I can use it to get down too. Just like All Might. Landing should be a piece of cake, right? Right! Ah! I'm broken!
Hello, guys. How are you doing? Travis here with VTM.
Hello.
And we are here today to review My Hero One's Justice 2, which is a arena fighter published by Bandai Namco, our friends, and developed by King, which I've never heard of, but here we are. They also made the first one. The story of My Hero kind of takes place where One Justice 1 ended, right after All For One versus All Might fight, and goes through the overhaul arc of the anime or manga, whatever your choice is.
That would be like season 2, like it ends or it picks up after season 2, pretty much.
Yeah, and through midway through season 4, pretty much right before where the anime is right now.
Should we say spoiler alert?
We could say spoiler alert. I don't know. I kind of want to do as we go further, maybe this wouldn't be spoilers, but I kind of want to try to get into like some non-spoilers. So if we're doing games down the line that people don't want to know, then we can review it they can watch it without knowing. But anyway, there will be spoilers in this specific review, just like the rest of them we've had before now. Just because it's kind of hard to talk about the story in some way without talking about what's happened since this goes into season 4.
Yeah.
Which you should watch. Anyway.
Yeah, go watch My Hero. It's great.
Much better than this game, but the game's not terrible, but it has its issues. The game has very minimal cutscenes, especially in the hero story, because there's a hero and a villain story. There's only one cutscene in the hero story, and it's at the end. Unless there's one that I forgot, but I don't remember one. Compared to the villain story that had about 5 cutscenes, give or take.
Yeah, like it was weird. It's like they started with the villains, and then they were told that they were losing time, so they just rushed the heroes.
Yeah. The game seemed very similar to the first game in a lot of ways.
Very similar.
Very similar.
I'm gonna say some things, and you can try to guess which game I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
There's a cutscene to begin the game, a good cutscene, and then immediately after, it shows you a slideshow. After that, they teach you how to play the game.
Same guy.
They introduce Mike, or whatever his name is, the guy who teaches you all about the main menu. Characters will just run away. Oh.
Yeah.
And basically the gist of the game is you pick a mission, you start the mission, it gives you a slideshow before the fight, you fight, you win, there's a slideshow after, rinse, repeat, game looks okay.
Yeah. It's
Which
very
game am I talking about?
both of them.
Yes!
It's very
No, I'm specifically talking about the first game, but both of them are the exact same.
Yeah. There are a shit ton of similarities, which is weird because it's like we get the cutscenes we do get, they're good.
Which are good. Yeah, like the cutscenes are good. But it's only at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Like,
yeah.
It's just weird.
It's just, it didn't do enough upgrading outside a few things in the story for this game to even need a sequel.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, if you look at it, like, just look at scenes. I know it's a new story and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But you look at the Night Eye scene, where in the anime manga, you had to get the stamp out of his hands. And Deku wasn't able to because Night Eye touched his face. He was able to read his every movement. He wasn't able to get the stamp. But also, Deku also didn't hit any of the All Might stuff in the office.
Yeah, so it's like Deku was trying to avoid things while fighting.
Mm-hmm. He never hit Night Eye because Night Eye had his every move. But in the game, you just kick the fuck out of Night Eye. Like
they're like, fight.
Yeah. And I thought it was going to be some sort of like thing where it was like
you have to avoid stuff on the ground like it's lava. Like, avoid the ground, like, at all costs.
Yeah, no, we're just punching them through walls. Walls are caving in. I'm like, this is this motherfucker's office.
And then, the slideshow, they're like, they explain, like, what Deku was doing. It's like, way to just not give us a cutscene.
Yeah.
Could've just gave us a cutscene for this, like.
Yeah. Or, you know.
Because they have missions that are specifically cutscenes.
Yeah. Or just do it. Like, literally, you could just have us be able... I mean, I'm not a huge fan of QuickTime events, depending on how they're used. They were used fine in, like, Spider-Man. But even if you use a QuickTime event here, it's better than me beating the fuck out of Night Eye when I know I watched the damn anime that he didn't hit him once.
That's every mission in this game, though. Like, every mission is... Like, I get that My Hero's a fighting game. But, like, every mission is the same. There's nothing in between. Like, there's no, hold this character off for, like, this amount of time. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no, don't lose this much health. Like, nothing to differentiate.
Mm-hmm. Although One Punch did that, and I fucking hated it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in the story, they didn't do that.
But yeah, it's literally rinse, repeat, like, pick mission, watch slideshow, play, or fight, and then watch another slideshow.
But I can say, going through this story, I enjoyed it more than the first game.
Yeah, well, again, the story of My Hero is good. Like, that's the thing. So, like, when you're just playing us a clip show of the show, like, we're just reminded of the show.
Yeah, but I didn't like the first game. There was something about it. Like,
the first game is very slow. This one kind of picks up the speed. Mm-hmm. Or picks up the pace.
Yeah. So, speaking of pace, let's talk about the combat, and you mentioned it a little bit. The characters still do, like the first game, do a lot of running around. I have many, many clips that if they are far away and they just stand there, they'll run back and forth for 20 seconds before they actually come up there and hit you. And it's funny, but, you know, you shouldn't do that 2 games in a row. They talked about they were, like, updating their shit. You don't update it if the AI is still doing the same thing.
Neat. Oh, good one. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I sit here on Ceremony here, Mr. Wayne, and you tell me what the fuck this game is right now.
Yeah, they slightly updated so they, like, do it for a second less, but they still do it.
Yeah. I don't understand that. That's an issue that should not exist. I mean, if people are complaining about that, I don't know why. I don't get it, because it's just the same shit. Now, the combat is a little more fast-paced.
It's a lot faster. It's less floaty. Yeah. That's something I noticed right off the bat, was, like, you still stay in the air pretty long, but, like, it feels like you're not just infinitely floating upward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was another big issue in the first game was they would run and jump around. And you were like, oh my god, stop it! I mean, yeah, I sent you that video one time. I'm just
Yeah.
like, stop running and jumping around. And no, they did, but they didn't. They ran around. They didn't do as much jumping around. Thank God, because that was actually fucking annoying.
Yeah, like at least in this game, if you start to approach them or you're like trying to charge up a move or something, they'll start approaching you. Like they'll stop running and be like, "Ah, you want to fight? Let's go." But if you stand still, they're like, "Run, run, run."
Yeah, it's really.
At least that's how it
weird.
was for me. Like,
Yeah. It's really, really weird.
but in the first game, if you start approaching or doing stuff, they just run. Like they don't care that you're there. Like they would just run no matter what, and then they would decide to start attacking you when like you give up.
Yeah. And how many times did you get it to like 2 points or 3 points on the plus ultra meter in the story?
It was very rare. I would have to let them kick my ass.
Yeah. It's just like, why is this taking so long? I understand the game is based around 3 rounds for your online and other modes, but you should kind of lower that in your story when you only have 1 round for people to actually see these moves. Because
The game needs a difficulty setting. These games need difficulty settings because if it was harder, then yeah, you would be working up towards like getting more than just 1 point.
But the health bar goes down so fast.
Yeah.
And even if you're kicking their ass, even if you're getting your ass kicked, there's a good chance you're not even going to get to even 2 points by the time that match is over. So you're ended up having to use the 1 point on the plus ultra meter over and over and over again instead of using the one that's 2 points, which is the much cooler looking move.
Yeah, it's pretty much your finishing.
Yeah,
Well, one is a finishing, one is like just a really cool looking move.
2 is, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just something that's like, you need to kind of balance it. So if you're going to only do 1 round for your story, that gives the players the ability to actually go in there and use the 2 point finishing move on the plus ultra meter. The 3 points on the plus ultra meter, also, if you have a group of 3 in the story, it happened a few times, that way you can use your team ultimate. That's what the 3 points is. But you're never going to get that in the story, ever.
Yeah.
Never once. So that's just something.
Again,
you know,
unless you let them sit there and let them beat you up,
Yeah.
it's never.
You know, and I've done a match where I was kicking their ass, but then they came back was kicking my ass, and it was right down to the wire, and I still only had 1 point.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's something they just need to balance that for the story. Maybe they didn't make this for the story, but I mean, you have to do some sort of balancing so people can learn how to do all that shit and see those moves because you play as different characters. You can be able to see
Yeah.
all their finishing moves, and I know you can do that in training mode and online or in other modes that have 3 rounds, but why can't we see it in the story?
One thing I do like about the story mode and how they handled it is the menu. Like, the menu is cleaned up. It's no longer branching path. It's just one mission at a time. Like, it's just, you unlock a mission, you beat it, you go to the next one. Like, it's nice. And if there's a side quest, it'll say it, and then you can just hit, I believe it was square, to change the mission to the side
Yeah,
quest,
the side quest,
which the side quest always follows after the story mission.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, either it can be, like, a fight, like a what if, like, oh, what were these characters doing while, like, the main characters were doing this?
Even if it don't matter.
Yeah. Or it'll just show, like, in Night Eye's case, like, you fight him, and the mission resolves by, like, him realizing that Deku, or by Deku revealing that he wasn't stepping on things. So, the side mission will be, like, a cutscene, or like a slideshow, just giving you the thoughts of Night Eye after, like, hearing that. And it's just small things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows that they cared about the story a little, but it also simplified it. I like the simplification of not having, like, go this branch, like in the first game, to, like, play this side quest. But
sure.
now I have to go navigate all the way back around the branch to go to the main story.
For sure. But I always found the what if stories like they needed to do more what ifs, because the what ifs, especially in the first game, is just like, why would these two characters fight? And even if they did fight, who cares?
Yeah.
So
The what ifs are very nothing burgers.
Nothing burgers. The combat is very simplistic. I would say you're going to do a lot of the same moves over and over again. I would say most likely, probably a 99% chance, you're going to do a lot of the same moves over and over again, especially in the story when you only have one round.
Yeah.
You're going to do that.
It's very easy to kill. Like, I figured, they teach you how to dash cancel.
Mm-hmm.
And I somehow stun-locked someone in the air long enough to just kill them with 2-hit combos.
Oh.
So it'd be like 1-2, dash cancel, 1-2, dash cancel, 1-2, dash cancel. And I just kept it up until I killed them. It's like, see? Easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
But it could use more combos, because a lot of times, no matter what buttons you're pushing, you're pretty much doing the same thing.
It should be easier to link combos together. Like, they have, like, the automatic combos, but, like, in the first game, every combo launched you into the air, and you could follow up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, this game, only certain people, like Deku, he will launch into the air, and his auto combo will complete by knocking them back to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, in the first game, it launched them into the air, so you could then follow up with, like, a special if you want. Where, like, I feel like this game kind of got rid of, like, the first game had, like, two different combos within the same combo, so, like, you could change it up and stop once you're in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, this game didn't give you the option of going to the air. So, like, it's very one-button pressy. Like, a couple of characters will launch, but, like, a lot of them don't follow up.
I mean, unless you start it.
It's very hard to just comp. And, like, you can manual combo.
Mm-hmm.
There's no I don't think there's a specific launch command. So it's like, you can't even put people into the air if you want to.
Yeah.
Just off of one button press. You have to combo them.
Yeah, unless you started the combo in the air.
Yeah. So it's just minor stuff like that. Like, just something I always say about fighting games. I like complex combo systems.
Yeah.
Something that you can, like, tweak. Like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, like, it has true combos, and then it has combos that you can just figure out on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a little much for asking any Bandai game to be like Mortal Kombat or Injustice, but
Yeah.
there's just more combos. Like, you could, I mean, that's not saying you couldn't do a game like that. Why not? Why not both? As the little girl with the tacos and the soft tie, whatever. But anyway, but yeah, the combat's kind of hit or miss, I would say. Kind of like the story.
Yeah.
I would say the story and the combat are hit or miss.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you also have missions. So missions, you do fights. They're kind of like Raging Blast, where you go through like a map with, there's sometimes different stipulations like partial health, and you keep I've never been a huge fan of those. It seems like a cheap kind of stipulation.
Yeah.
And I've never been a huge fan of those because it's just like it's not about skill. Like you're just telling me, okay, now I have 25% health, go win, and it's just like, well, what if I don't wanna? Like, what if I want 100% health?
And if something like that was in the story, like when a character is supposed to be like heavily damaged, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But it's not like that.
Someone having like partial health because like in the cutscene they were damaged, that makes sense. But just doing it for a mission, it proves that they had the capability of doing it, but they didn't.
Yeah, like if they would have done that in the first game when Deku was finding muscular,
Yeah.
that would have made sense because he got the shit beat out of him in that fight.
Yeah.
But in this one, they're just kind of doing it at points. I think what they want you to do is go through the map a certain way and beat everybody, and then it won't go down. Because what you do is you fight all these people, and unless you have a healing item, some maps don't even have healing items, you have the same health. So if you fight somebody and your health is down to nothing, you start the next fight with that health bar. The issue is sometimes they artificially lower your fucking health bar, and it's just like, well, I'm already dealing. If you have no health items on the map, I'm already dealing with trying to maintain a health bar the entire time without you fucking me. So it's like, come on, please. So basically what you do is you complete missions, gain points, and with those points you can recruit heroes and villains to your hero agency. So in this you have your own hero agency, and with the hero points you're able to buy heroes to add to your agency, and then you have like the main hero and the two sidekicks that you take on the missions with you. It is not like your normal it's not like your normal three players where it's like you can swap them out. You have a main and then you have your sidekicks. You can't swap them, which pissed me off because I feel like in the first game you were able to, but maybe not. Maybe I was thinking of a different game. That was One Punch Man. Anyway, you could swap out the characters if they were there to help you in One Punch Man. Stupid fucking game. Fuck that game. Just thought I'd point it out. But so like I had 100% full cowling Deku. And then I also had Shigaraki and Shoto were my three.
Yeah.
And that was really good. But yeah, you can unlock those people. In theory, it could work, but really you're just unlocking players and doing just fighting things. Like there's nothing special about it. You get these random scenes when you that's a different mode. But you also get like this random scene where it's like you completed the mission, congratulations, and I'm like, oh thanks, whatever, who cares. So missions mode, it's something. It's there. It's more content, I guess. Nothing special about it. Just something if you want to do more, I guess. I don't know. You have anything to add on missions mode?
Again, the fact that they add these stipulations in this mode just proves that they could have done it for the main campaign, but they didn't.
It's not hard. You just lower your health.
Which kind of upsets me. Because it's like, again, like you can't say that you couldn't do it because you have it in the same game.
Yeah. And it's not hard. You're just lowering a health bar.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would even be that difficult to do.
No.
Another mode is arcade mode. Arcade mode, you can choose 3 paths. After winning each fight, you get a special set of dialogue, but it's not that special. It's kind of like your basic. It's kind of like what you get from Mortal Kombat on a fucking intro, except they're trying to say some special shit. It's like, you're not saying much. You're like, I'm gonna kill you now. And he's like, oh my god, I should have listened to me when I was drinking. I don't know. Something stupid. And it's like, that's not really special dialogue, but the quote-unquote special dialogue. Stupid. I don't like it. The AI in this, they run away worse than anything in the entire game. Like, the story is nothing compared to this. I don't know why. The running away from the AI in this is absolutely fucking dreadful, and I hate it, and I want it to die and go to hell. Just so you know.
Maybe you did die and go to hell.
Maybe. So just like your missions, you choose a main fighter and 2 sidekicks, except it's 3 rounds instead of 1. So in the arcade mode, I was able to... The missions mode is also only 1 round, but in the arcade mode, I was able to do my ultimate move and actually see it for once. Yay!
Wow.
I was actually use like Deku and see his ultimate, or I used a few people and saw their ultimate, and it's just like, oh my god, the ultimates look fine, but in any other mode I don't get to see shit. So I was excited for that. Arcade mode is really, I mean, that's basically all there is. A lot of modes are really easy to talk about because there's really not much to them.
Yeah.
The very brief overview.
They're your basic modes.
Your basic arcade mode, when you used to go to the arcade, these little beat 'em ups, and then you were done. But I prefer that to the missions because the arcade mode allows you to see your ultimates 3 rounds, and yeah, it takes longer, but at least I get to see something cool. You have the training mode, which is your basic bitch training mode, where you just can see moves and all that shit, like most fighting games have. I don't know, did One Punch Man have a training mode?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say they can't even get that right. We'll let go, One Punch Man. It's in our past. But yeah, not much to say on training mode. Everybody knows what a training mode is. You have your free battles, which is an offline mode where you can do a match with various settings, 1v3, 2v4, etc. You can also play cooperative with, I believe it's just offline co-op, where one player controls the main character and the other player controls the sidekick. And then once that sidekick is summoned, the moment the sidekick takes damage, so once the second player, your brother, your friend, whoever, takes damage, they leave the stage, and which is weird because it's kind of like what if I come in to help and then I was instantly punched? I was like, oh, thanks for the fun.
Yeah.
But also the sidekick cannot finish off a main character, so you can have a friend come in there and punch him for an hour and a fucking half, and he's not going to die. So really fun for the sidekick player.
All of the fun.
Yeah, I mean that would piss me off. I'm just like, why the fuck am I here? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah. To my knowledge, you can also play free battle against another player. To my knowledge, it's just local co-op. There's no online co-op in this mode. So just like a throwback, just local co-op or a Lego game.
But who is playing this game with friends around?
Who's admitting they own it?
Yeah.
You have your online mode. Like I said, all this is very basic. There's not a lot to say about this game. This game is very basic.
Very basic.
Very basic.
Yeah, there's not much to say because this is, to me, it's DLC.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a really large DLC that added this story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you have your online mode, which obviously you play against other players, obviously, and at least, I was going to say, at least they don't run around, but you know what? I feel like I did a few matches and they jumped around, so one of the good things is because your closing speed is so good in this game, you can't block in midair. Oh my god, if they were jumping and blocking in midair. That's one thing. Once you jump, you can jump around like a moron, but I'm able to close distance and then I can beat your ass because you can't block in midair. I guess that's maybe their kind of way of balancing that.
Yeah.
But the online mode, it's fine. The first time I tried to connect to it, it gave me an error, and I was like, oh, here we go. Is the online broken? But I didn't have an issue after that. So, give or take, but online mode, it's fine. I mean, I'm never going to be good at this game, so I got my ass kicked, but it's fine. I got really close once, though. And let me tell you something. I was excited. Not really. Anyway, the other thing they do, and I don't know if you really, how much you looked into this, but the customization.
I did not look into it that much because I did not care.
Because I did not care. Both games have the customization. This game, you can customize your costume, your arm, your body, your leg, your head, your face, your neck, your voice, and motto on every character on the roster. This can be fun to fuck around in.
Yeah.
You come up with random things to put on your character, and then, you can wear those things in fights. in my opinion, sometimes, I mean, the story in the second game was pretty good, but in the first game, for sure, it was the best part of the game. Because the first game can go fuck itself. But you could put just random shit. Like, I could put, God damn it, why did I forget his name? Purple Balls. That guy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what we're talking about. I usually...
I just forgot his name, too.
Yeah, I know. I know it. It's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. But you could put like him like clinging onto your leg.
Yeah.
And it's really, that was always funny in the first game. In the second game, you're like, I saw that already, so who fucking cares? But yeah, Mineta.
Why did we forget that?
We actually probably found it at the same time because we said it at the same time.
Yeah.
You can have him, you can have the principal hang onto your legs, you can have some weird shit, you can have face stuff, so it's nice to fuck around in, and it's probably more exciting than most things in both games, to be honest with you, even though the customization really, there's a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of, like, the same thing, just different colors. It's that kind of thing, because it's Bandai, and they can't have a customization unless you have the same thing over and over, but different colors. It's like their MO. It's like, look at all this customization! You're like, yeah, it's just the same thing with different colors. The voice changes what a character says upon entrance, which no one cares about. I don't care about what they say when they go into. But I mean, that being said, the customization in this game leaps and bounds better than One Punch Man, which was dreadful.
It's not that hard.
Just dreadful. It's not hard to be better than One Punch Man, but it's just dreadful. So that was the basic. Like I said, there's not much. The story, it's a give and take. It's a hit or miss. Combat, hit or miss. Missions, Arcade, probably more fun than missions just because you have the 3 rounds. You can actually see people's ultimates. Training mode, you can't really say one way or the other. Training modes are nice in any kind of fighting game.
Mode is the thing. Yeah. And at the end of the day, this game is a middle of the road Bandai game.
Middle of the road. Yeah, free battles would be
again. I'm just upset that people have to pay like full price for this.
Yeah, and until like a few weeks.
It's a year removed from the first one. Also, it took forever for the first one to lower in price.
Correct.
Until like what?
A couple
weeks ago.
A couple weeks before 2 launched.
Yeah. So it took all this time for the first game to drop in price. And this game is just DLC. Like, it's added story.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
How many missions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what it is. I was talking about VTM. I was talking to this about VTM earlier. To VTM, if they did Kakarot, except it was My Hero, and they added the school elements from like Persona, it would be like a perfect game. Bandai, make it the fuck now!
Yeah, like just make an RPG out of My Hero. It would make so much sense.
Yeah, because you
they
know,
won't.
yeah, and don't make it open like you're making One Punch Man. I can see you now. You're a hero. Go raise your hero score. Don't you fucking do it.
Nah, just have us play through the story.
Yes. Don't you fucking dare. I'm watching you with both of my eyes. I'm tired of this, man.
Well, there's, one more Bandai game?
One more Bandai game that VTM's handling on his own.
Oh, yeah. People will love me for it.
Oh,
Because I occasionally shit on this series on Twitter, so.
yeah, hey. It is what it is, but final scores, go.
Ooh, I gave One Punch Man a 1, so I'll give this one a 3.
A 3.
Yeah, it's just another arena game. It's alright, looks good.
Yeah, okay.
The only time I had fun was like near the end of the camp. Why did I... Hearing about missions, it's like, why didn't we get more of that in the campaign?
Yeah.
So it's like they've clearly made mistakes. They could do better. Also, this game shouldn't be full.
Correct.
So it's a 3.
Yeah. I mean, you also had sub elements of the story, like when you were Deku, the final part of the Overwatch fight was fun. When you flipped that, it wasn't as fun.
No.
Because he was slow and lumbering, even though in the anime he's still fast.
Yeah.
But for some reason, a lumbering structure. I don't know why. But anyway, for me, I was leaning on the first game. Don't know why, but I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And I would say that's about right, because I wasn't like appalled by it. Like I played One Punch Man and I was fucking appalled. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? But because
You know what? I'm actually thinking about it. Can I change mine to a 4? Because it made upgrades from the first game,
yes,
and they like I appreciate some of the changes from the first game, but they aren't that big. Like
yeah.
they matter, but they're still good. So it's a 4. It's a fair 4.
Yeah, we had our first mind change
Yeah.
of the review process. Yeah, I would say I gave the first game a 4. I would say because it took steps forward, but it also is pretty much the same, I can't raise it
Yeah.
beyond that. So I'm going to end up at a 4 also. It's not the worst thing I've ever played. It's definitely a step in the right direction, but I don't think it really, because it was basically, like VTM said, a DLC, where the combat was still AI running around, and they didn't really fix enough. Yeah, the combat's a little faster, but it's just kind of hit or miss. It's kind of up and down. And so if you give the game a 5, I can see it. Because it is kind of better than the first game, but it's still too similar to be like, you deserve this, because you don't.
Yeah,
for
like
$60.
it's a year removed. Again, the first game just dropped in price, and there's changes, but not too much.
So it's hard to like give them credit and be like, there you go, you get another point, because they basically released the same
Especially
game.
when they're using the same asset.
Yes, yeah. So I wasn't appalled by this game. It's not a terrible game. It's just not that good. It exists. That's the best way.
It's a game that's gonna be forgettable.
Yeah, it exists, which sucks because I just started watching My Hero like not even a year ago. Like I actually really really enjoy My Hero, and I want to see a show or an anime or a show of any kind that I like be done justice. And I don't feel like, even if they keep making small improvements, this particular kind of My Hero game is ever going to work. Because I don't think it's ever going to get on the level.
No. And it sucks, because that's 2 back-to-back anime-type games, or anime games, where people are invested in these franchises. And it just sucks that, like, we've had 2 back-to-back, or kind of forgettable games.
Yeah.
That we won't play after a week.
Absolutely. Deleting it now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Delete!
Delete. There's so many good things. There's so many good games coming. Potentially good games, I should say. And it's just like, we shouldn't have 3 anime games releasing within a month's period.
Yeah. And
by the same
like
publisher.
another one's about to drop in 8 days. So
if it's a different publisher for all 3, okay, maybe. But like, it's the same publisher. They're just pumping these out, making money off fan bases, and it's just like, how long are we gonna go as anime fans? Which I'm no anime fan. I just like, there's some animes I like, but how long are people going to go as anime fans before they realize that they're just price gouging you and they're not really doing anything innovative with the games to actually need $60 worth from you?
I keep comparing Bandai to Blumhouse because they're the only people I can. Like, Blumhouse is a movie company that releases so many movies every year.
Yeah.
Like, and occasionally they'll release a good one. But most of the time they release movies that are like, why do I care?
Yeah.
And Bandai's the same. Like, Bandai clearly prioritizes some of their games.
Dragon Ball.
And then clearly doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, and while Kakarot wasn't perfect or anything, I mean, you can tell that they care more about Dragon Ball. Or maybe it's just season 2 because because of the Naruto. So, I mean, you can tell they care more about Naruto and Dragon Ball than they do any other anime. But yeah, they have all these fucking licenses that they just pump out games for.
I'm expecting the next Bandai game to be okay. Better than these 2 games.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna say I'm expecting it to be better than these 2 games. Now, if it's not, I'm gonna be crushed. I'm gonna be hurt because I enjoyed the last one.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned, everyone. But that's going to do it for this one. A 4 from me, a 4 from VTM.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Only because the first game was bad, and this one kind of made an improvement.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah. It is what it is.
If they get another game, I'm expecting them to take a big leap this time.
Not going to happen. But you never know. You never know.
You never know. Bandai is Bandai. Bandai gonna be crazy.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for this review. We do have more reviews on the way. There's a busy season coming, so stay tuned for that. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Watch me